What's going on, y'all? Got another one for you. Hopefully, y'all are doing pretty well. I know there's a lot of chaos in the world, but we're going to get through it because better days are definitely on the horizon. There's a lot of, like I say, a lot of chaos with what's going on in the world, and a lot of people are just trying to make sense of it. I am. All of us are. But I feel like this is just kind of the growing pains of what life kind of throws at people. A lot of there's an increase in a lot of people's self-awareness of what's going on in the world, not only within what's going on in the world, but also what's going on within themselves. We're definitely starting to become more aware, become more woke, as a lot of people will say, about what's going on and how the world really works. We were kind of told the world was kind of works in a specific way. Things are fair, things are always going to work out. We kind of had a very specific view about how people are, how we all are, and as time has gone forward and how information is being shared between each other, we're starting to see that the way that we were told how the world works isn't actually how it actually operates. And we're seeing a lot of the cruelty of how we are as people, as animals, where we're seeing a lot of the negativity, and a lot of people, myself included, at one point are starting to take on this victim mentality of how things should or shouldn't be, how things shouldn't go, how people should or shouldn't act. And I can definitely understand it. It's definitely something to help you kind of cope with what your situation is. But like I said in a few other videos, things happen for a reason. The world is going to continue to rotate no matter what. So kind of getting weighed down by the shoulds and shouldn'ts, really long term, I don't believe it's going to benefit you. It hasn't really benefited me. As soon as I kind of remove that word from my vocabulary about what things should or shouldn't happen, how things should or shouldn't go, I've gotten so much more clarity about where I want to be and how I see the world and how things are truly operated. Because we don't actually live in a should or shouldn't reality. Things just are. And the closer that we get to that truth, I think that's when we are going to see so much prosperity. I think the 2020s we were due for this time. If you don't, the wise person once said, if you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And we haven't really learned, at least here in America, but all over the world as well. We haven't really learned from our past about how we should treat each other, how we should treat ourselves, how things normally work. There's definitely a natural order to life, and we're all part of it. And we definitely are struggling to accept the fact that we can't play God, that we don't have as much power as we think we do, and we just need to allow nature just to kind of run its course and stop trying to intervene in nature because of how we feel. That's the biggest Achilles heel that men have, not men as in the gender, but as humans, we have. We just feel we kind of, as of right now, are just so emotionally unregulated that we're just going solely off of our feelings. So many of our decisions are made just on a very impulsive feeling, which I believe has a lot to do with a lot of people becoming aware of their ADHD. That's definitely a symptom of that, is being more impulsive. But it is causing a lot of chaos within ourselves, which is also bleeding out to our realities and our societies, where we're just being very, very impulsive about what we're doing, and we're not actually using the time that we truly have. We have so much downtime that we're just kind of going at such a frenetic pace that we don't actually use a lot of that downtime that we have to process things and to think and to be like, whoa, I don't have to do all these crazy wild things that I'm doing right now. If I just sat down and kind of be at peace with myself, I can actually make much more coherent and favorable long-term decisions moving forward. And I'm trying to pass that knowledge on to other people because I feel like, at least for me, that has saved me so much grief and pain, and also gave me so much clarity about other people, which allowed me to forgive all the people who, in some people's lens, have wronged me or wronged other people. It's like things happen for a reason. When someone does something, I'm definitely coming more into the fact that we are all the same. You know, I am you, you are me. You know, if you see someone wronging you, that's pretty much you, right in front of you. And I view forgiveness isn't like being like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Um, don't feel bad for your, don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, I do believe in that, but my view of forgiveness is being grateful that someone showed you the error of your ways. Essentially, say if someone cut you off while you're driving, um, I will forgive them by being like, hey, clearly that person isn't trying to do something that's going to better them long term. You know, cutting someone off, no matter who that person is, isn't really going to benefit you long term. It's very impulsive and it's very emotional in the moment, and you just hope that person learns from that. That was a learning experience for both people. It was a learning experience for me to be like, hey, I shouldn't do that because I don't feel good by that person cutting me off, so I should not cut that person off. And hopefully that person learns that I didn't really gain a whole lot by cutting that person off. I'm not going to get to my destination um, long term. I'm not going to get to my destinations any quicker by just constantly cutting people off and causing more chaos in the world. So that's kind of how I view forgiveness. Like I forgive that person, not so much what they did to me, but mainly because of what they're doing to themselves. Um, and by forgiving them, you're not adding on to it. I'm not going to go around them, speed up, and then cut them off. I don't think I've ever done that before, but if I have, I definitely forgive myself for that. You know, going tit for tat for people long term just doesn't really serve you. It doesn't serve anyone. It's a very, very quick, impulsive feeling, mainly because we are always trying to feel something right now. All of us are pretty emotionally numb. Like I said, we are very emotionally unregulated, and we're just trying to feel something right now because the reality that we're living in just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What we're seeing and what we're being told just aren't jiving. So we're just trying to get some type of feeling any way that we can, and sometimes that is we are kind of in the era, like I said, the 2020s of just hurting other people just to feel something, just to feel a little bit, just to numb the pain of what this reality is, which I can't blame anyone for doing that. We all do it in one way or another. So we're all trying to get rid of, we're all trying to figure out how do we get out of this situation. You know, no one likes what's going on right now. I don't, you don't, none of us actually are happy about any of this. And I feel like the best way to remove yourself from this is just to forgive yourself and forgive everybody else for creating this. You know, you look at what's going on with politics, with the president and his appointees and all those people. It's like, yeah, it's very easy to get mad at those people, get angry. Those are very valid emotions. But at the same time, at some point, we're going to have to forgive these people. We're going to have to forgive Trump and Musk, have to forgive Bezos and Zuckerberg and all these people, because at the end of the day, if you were them, if you had their parents, if you were in their environment, ate the food that they ate, or in the bodies that they were in, you would be no different. I wouldn't. I'll be no different from Elon Musk. I'll be no different from Donald Trump. And I truly feel for those people, especially Trump, because he was born into this. You know what I'm saying? He was born into being Trump. You know, his father molded him into who he is today. And how can I be mad at him for that overall, long term? I just can't. I can understand that he has done a lot of bad things to people, if you want to say call it that. If he is definitely not, he's definitely a polarizing person, and I will never fault anybody for never forgiving him. But I just understand long term, you're just going to have to let that just do what it needs to do, not necessarily let it go, but it's like don't hang on to something that isn't serving you. It doesn't serve me to hate this dude. It really doesn't. I don't have to like him. I don't have to have a beer with him. But I don't have to hate this dude. I don't really have to have him in my thoughts this much. Even if he is the president, at the end of the day, he doesn't really control the world. He doesn't really control the country. We do. You know, there's more of us than this is one of him. And these guys want to keep peacocking and playing God. At some point, when you play God, you're going to have to actually be him. If you're pretending to be someone that you're not, you're going to have to be that person that you're pretending to when the time comes, when the time arises. So it's you're setting yourself up for failure when you do that, when you're not living within the natural order of things. Even though everything we do is part of nature, sometimes we sabotage ourselves. You know, all animals do that at some point. So that's kind of what they're doing. You know, I think these dudes are crashing out. I think Trump feels a certain type of way about how he was treated. I think all of us do. We all have needs that weren't met in our childhoods that we're trying to in our adulthoods, trying to get them met. And I think that's what all these guys are doing. They're all just trying to get all those needs met right now, and they're just doing it very, very impulsively, and they're not thinking long term about it. They are thinking long term about it, but from their perspective, and they're going to go where they're going to go. You know, we all have a path that we're all going to go down. They're going down their path, and there's nothing that you can really do about it. If you can see where they're going and they're not actually going to achieve what they think they're going to achieve, there's nothing that you can really do about it. So I hope these dudes at the end of this find peace within themselves and can forgive themselves, especially Trump. Hopefully he can forgive himself for who he is, not for what he's done, because there's more to this than him. I know he owes a whole lot of people a whole lot of money. He's a very dangerous person who is dealing with a whole bunch of dangerous people that he is surrounded by. So I know the type of person that he is. I know overall deep down he's not a terrible person. He just isn't. You know, he just doesn't strike me as someone who's a terrible person. I know a lot of people want to demonize him because of who he is, and he is a very gifted, very intelligent person. You do not make $1 billion by being dumb. You just don't. Dumb people can't make that kind of money and keep it. Just because he's lost a lot of it, cool. That's valid. That's fair. He also made a lot of it. He's also raised pretty decent kids. They aren't out here doing heinous things. He just isn't a terrible person. He just isn't. You don't gotta like him, but kind of downplaying who he is as a person just isn't very valid. You know, people love him for a reason. He is a very he has a very attractive personality. So I definitely get that. So I feel for Trump. You know, I would never go against him. I don't gotta like him. I don't like a lot of things that he does, but he is like a terrible person. I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to give that to all the people as well. You know, he's teaming up and getting a lot of his validation from people like Putin and Un. It is like those people once again were also born into those situations. They didn't really have much of a choice, especially Kim Jong-un. He couldn't be his own person. He was literally born into that insane asylum that is North Korea. So how can you expect him to be anything other than who he is? And I think because he also is a pretty intelligent person, he could be doing a lot worse than what he's doing right now. Sure, he's causing a lot of chaos, but who wouldn't in that situation? I would. I'll be probably even more chaotic if I was born in that situation. Because I feel like I'm a little bit more charismatic as him, as he is. So I could easily manipulate people a lot easier than he could. So it's just looking at those people as yourself and kind of forgiving yourself in proxy, also forgiving them, is just going to lead to better long-term decision makings for yourself. You're going to give yourself that clarity that you need to do great things. And I think we have 5 more years of getting to that point. You know, like I said, the 2020s are going to be rough, but we needed this. We did not learn from our mistakes. We thought we did during like the early 2000s, the 2010s. We did not learn from it. We did not learn about our economic systems, our healthcare systems, the job market, jobs in general, our happiness, our wants and our needs. We just didn't learn from it. We're constantly, like I was saying earlier, getting a lot of our needs met, a lot of our wants met, excuse me, a lot of our wants met, and while neglecting our needs. I did that as well. I wanted a whole lot of things as a kid, and I got neglected quite a bit um, of those wants and needs. So I spent a lot of my 20s getting a lot of my wants met, and I'm glad I did because I found out afterwards that didn't actually make me happy. All of my wants that I acquired with all the material things that I gotten, I no longer have, and I'm actually the happiest I've ever been because once I got rid of all those wants, I was able then to get the clarity to see what did I need in my life, who did I need in my life, where did I need to be in my life, and then that's when the hole that was left from my childhood was being able to be patched up day by day. And I think the 2020s are going to give everyone, if they haven't already, that clarity that what do we all need, not only as a collective but as an individual. What do we all need moving forward to get what we acquired to become who we want to be in the future. You know, stops we not stop, but focus on the needs from a development standpoint, from a character growth standpoint, and not so much from an impulsive feeling standpoint. Because when I was getting all those wants met, it was a feeling that I was lacking. And once I figured out that this is never actually going to get met because these feelings aren't always valid, like they're valid in a moment, but if I just let them run through me, I'm cool. So it's like once I got past that in my 20s and now in my 30s, I'm starting to get a lot of my needs. I'm starting to understand what my needs are. All of the things that will get my needs met are coming to me. It's been really, really cathartic actually, seeing a lot of the things that I thought I didn't need be right in front of me, and I didn't even have to work for it. I wasn't even looking for them, for these people, for these opportunities, for these objects, and there they are, like right in front of me. And now that I got a lot of my wants out of the way, be like, okay, cool, I understand. I don't need any of these wants anymore. I need to get my needs met. So once I get my needs met, then my wants will hit different. It'll definitely be. I'll definitely cherish them more, and I'll definitely understand why I want these things to begin with. That's when I started to get the clarity that okay, the way that we were told how to operate in life just wasn't very accurate. It was close. It was very, very close, but it wasn't accurate. A lot of it was to kind of spare people of the pain of growing and evolving as a human species, as animals, to get to that point of clarity. A lot of people just don't want to get to this point because it's very painful. I spent the vast majority of my life in isolation. As a kid, as a teen, as an adult, I just been by myself with my own thoughts, and it was very painful. It was very I won't say lonely because I'm never alone. People are always thinking about me. People are always I'm always on their mind, so I never felt lonely. That's one of, I guess, the perks of being tall, dark, and handsome. Like a lot of people are just thinking of you. So I know I've always had a whole bunch of people or surrounding me, but not a whole lot of those people also they couldn't really see me. They couldn't really understand me fully because of how set apart I am from the average person. But anyway, I spent a lot of that time by myself. In that time, in that isolation, I just did a whole lot of fighting with myself. Something that I've gotten a lot of clarity on is I just love war. I am very, very much a aggressive person who likes to go at war with either other people. If I can't do it with other people, then I would do it with myself. I will go to war with myself, and I would challenge who I am every single day to make sure I'm not bullshitting myself. I'm not lying to myself. Who are you? Where did you come from? How did you get here? Every single day. Who do you think you are? Improve it. I do that every single day. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to do this? Who do you think you are to do that? Oh yeah, prove it. I do that to other people as well. I'm notorious for pulling people's cards about being like, oh, you think you're this? You think this is who you are? Prove it. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is all about. At the end of the day, is proving who you are instead of just pretending. You know, a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of people are peacocking because that's what they were told to do, and they were led astray. You know, you got to kind of be content with who you are. But like I said, during my isolation, I found out who I am, where I need to be, who I need to attract, and the life that I need to live to get a lot of my needs met. And once that happened, all my wants went away because I didn't need to be there. And I'm now putting myself currently in the position to get a lot of those wants back, but have a different mindset of why those wants are here, and I don't need them. You know, they're going to be here to serve me. When they no longer serve me, they're going to leave. That's for everything, for people, for things, for experiences, for just all things in life. All the things that I want, I cannot hang on to them. You know, especially if I love them, I have to be able to let them go. And like I said, a lot of people are coming to that realization now in the 2020s, and it's very painful. You know, I came to this realization before then, but the 2020s just put that right in my plate, being like, this is what this is. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, this is a beautiful time right now to really get a lot of your needs met. And the best way to do that is to figure out what you need. And the best way to do that is get all your wants out of the way. Get everything that you want, do it, get it, receive it, whatever, and then figure out how much did that fill in that hole in your heart that was missing from your childhood. And then once you figure that out, then you will get a very, very clear picture of what your needs are. You get those needs met. The reason why I'm going this big ass rant about it is because that's what the 2030s are going to be. The 2030s are going to be some of the best, if not the best, decade in recorded history. I can definitely feel it. It has to come. You know, ebbs and flows. That's life. We're definitely going downhill. We're definitely not where we want to be. We're definitely not getting our needs met. But we need to get all these wants out of the way. I want this. I want this. I want this. Cool. Get what you want, right? Get all these wants. See what it does for you. Get the clarity for your needs. Because our needs are going to be met in the 2030s. All of our needs are going to be met. And we're going to be prospering so much more than ever. But we can't go backwards. That's the main thing. Let's go make America great again. Go back to this, go back to that. We can't go backwards. That's not how you evolve. You have to move forward. We have to start doing things we've never done before in the 2030s. And by doing that, and because of doing that, we're going to evolve as a species. The way that we see how we communicate with each other, how we go along in relationships with each other, how we see communities with each other are going to have to change and evolve for the better. You know, a lot of people are going to get left behind. A lot of people aren't going to get their wants out of it. But overall, collectively and individually, we're going to get a lot of our needs met in the 2030s. We just got 5 years left to keep fucking around before we find out, you know. So stay the course and understand that, yes, what we're going through right now is very, very, the adversity that we're going through right now is needed. This is a need. We all need to go through this adversity. I'm going through a lot of adversity right now, and every single day I'm getting more and more clarity about this is something that I needed in my life so I can be who I think I am. You know what I'm saying? I think I can be a very, very powerful, inspirational person in a lot of people's lives because people have already told me that. People have constantly put up a mirror to me and told me that's who I am. I've inspired so many people. So many people love me in their presence. I can't keep lying to myself about being like I don't have a whole lot of value. I do. I have so much value that so many people love. So many people mirror that to me. They constantly give me that validation that I do matter. So I just need to kind of continue down that course and not allow myself to lie to myself about what I need and what I don't need, who I am, who I am not, and just continue down this course of self-development and growth, because it never stops. You learn something new every single day, and you never stop learning. You're always going to be a student, but some days being a teacher is not that bad as well. And I want to be both. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a student. I want to continue to inspire people. You know, I've been through a lot of adversity in my life. We all have. I have a lot of stories to tell. I want to tell those stories, but I don't want to demonize anybody. I don't believe in good and evil. I don't believe in right and wrong. I want people just to see themselves in everybody, you know, because at the end of the day, we're like 90% the same, humans are. And we just want to keep hyper focusing on that 10% that makes us different. And it's just like, it's the war thing, you know. I'm not the only person who loves war. We all love war at the end of the day. But the main war you need to be facing is the war within yourself. And like I said, we got 5 more years of going to war with ourselves. So we need to be ready for the 2030s. That's going to bring so much prosperity. It's going to be insane. Like we're not going to be ready for it. We're not going to be able to see it coming. But just prepare yourself. You know, expect the worst, hope for the best, and the best is on its way. It truly, truly is. I guarantee you, the best is on its way. This is slowly getting there, day by day. So everything that's happening right now is happening for a reason. I said in another video, you know, I don't believe in free will. I think everything is pretty much predetermined. This year was predetermined. How we act and how we do is predetermined. You know, we do most of our actions subconsciously, so we don't even do it purposely. Like me making this video was pretty much subconscious. Me having the inspiration to make this video was subconsciously. I didn't create the reality that we live in. I just live in it. And now I'm making this video. I'm gonna be posting it. And I know eventually I'm making these videos because I know eventually they're going to blow up. When? I don't care. Why? I don't care. I just know that I'm doing this because this is bigger than me. Life is bigger than me. Life is bigger than all of us. So I just know that this is going to find people when they need it, when they need it the most. And I'm glad to be, like I said, I'm glad to be that person to do that for people. Because that's who I am. That's who I'm always going to be. That's who I've always been. And I don't want people to change the narrative of who I am. I want to at least be able to write all the chapters of my own book. I want people to write it for me. So I want to at least, I know a lot of people feel the change coming. I want to give them that validation that yes, the change is coming. All of the adversity that you have been through is worth it because it's for your personal growth. I know we don't, even me, have a little bit of the feeling of I don't want people going through the same things that I've gone through because it's painful, but at the same time it's needed. It's needed. You know, everything we do is for our benefit. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that's very, very, very true in every sense of the word. So embrace what this is. Understand that this isn't forever. This can't be forever. You know, all good things must come to an end, and this is a good thing. Adversity is a good thing, or it's at least important at the very least. And prepare for, like I said, some of the best years of your life moving forward. But the best way to get there and the best way to receive the rewards of that is by doing right by yourself and doing right by others, and living in a natural accordance, living in accordance to nature. You know what I'm saying? Always respect Mother Nature and always respect Father Time, and you will live a very, very prosperous life. Because those are the main 2 people who are running things in this world. It's Mother Nature and Father Time. You cannot negotiate with them. You cannot argue with them. You just have to respect them and be like, you know what? I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to believe like I am above you or I have more power than you. You have always been the main people who are just in control of things, and I'm just going to respect that. So continue doing that. If you haven't, start. If you have, continue doing it because better days are in the horizon. I know it's very, very easy to drink the Kool-Aid about and see how terrible things are. Like, things are not ideal. I definitely get that. But they're happening for a reason. We need this. This is a need. Right now, outside, reality, here, everywhere, it's a need. We need to go through this. how we view it, our point of view, our perspective, is going to dictate where we're going in the future. And my perspective is, I'm ready for it. Whatever this is going to become, I'm ready for it. You know, I've been ready for every single obstacle that was put in front of me. I jumped over all those hurdles. This hurdle's not going to be any different. They're going to make me stronger. Even if you trip, even if you botch it, it's still going to make you stronger. It's still going to make you a better person. So let's all just try to get on the same page about being like, what's happening right now, what's happening all throughout human history was supposed to happen. You know, we don't have much of a choice in that, but at least we can change our perspective about being like, this is what's supposed to happen. I don't believe in free will. I do have the determination to be like, you know what? I'm going to be more optimistic about what life is. I'm going to see all the blessings that are in front of me every single day and be very, very grateful for those blessings. So that's pretty much the end of this yap session. You know, I had y'all for over 30 minutes, but I just wanted to at least give y'all that validation that things are inevitably have to get better before things get worse. And we needed to go through this as a species, not even as a country or as a nation. We all, as people, needed to go through this together collectively, because we are slowly but surely seeing that, hey, we actually aren't all that different. We all, this divide that is here, you know, in this country, but in this world, is very, very emotional and very, very I'm blanking on the word now, impulsive, very impulsive. And we just need to retake our downtime, get back our time, and be like, hey, this isn't something that's serving me long term from becoming a great person. I don't need to be creating all these enemies. I don't need to be creating all these wars. These don't really serve me. They're just filling a void temporarily, and it's not going to get me where I need to go. So, but we all have our own paths. We're all going to go down our own paths. So continue doing what you're doing, and understand that, yeah, better days are on the horizon. So be ready for them. Y'all take it easy.